if you are having the lab manual. Okay, so it will be very clear if you have the lab manual, that is open experiment number 9, that is time domain response. So today you will learn how to simulate a say typical second order system, and you have to determine the time domain specifications. Okay, so how to simulate using MATLAB, I will explain. Okay, if you open first the lab manual, it is specified a second order system is nothing but your simple RLC circuit. If you write the transfer function, which is the ratio of Laplace transfer of the output to the Laplace transfer of the input, it will be a second order system. Okay, so this second order system, how do we simulate? So you see that if you write the transfer function of the typical second order system, that is RLC series circuit, you will get Laplace, that is transfer function, which is the ratio of Laplace transfer of the output to the Laplace transfer of the input, that is C of S by R of S equal to omega n square. See here it is omega n2, but you have to understand it is omega n square. You also go through the lab manual also. It is omega n square in the numerator divided by S square plus 2 zeta omega n into S plus omega n square. Okay, so hope you are going through the lab manual. Clear? So this is the transfer function. Here we have put it in percent. That means it will not be executed. That is for your understanding. Okay, this we have put it in the MATLAB. See, when you put percentage means that statement will not be executed. That is only a comment. Like when you do the hardware experiment, you will write the title. Okay, but here we just put percentage, that is your comment, or it's like the title of the program. Okay, now case 1 also we have put as percent, that is when you in case 1 you are studying the for a simple system, basic system, that is omega n square by S square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. After substituting the value of omega n, that is you have to assume omega n is equal to 64 radians per second, that is undamped natural frequency. It is all the details are given in the lab manual. After substituting omega n equal to 64, you will get 64 into 64 divided by S square plus 2 zeta. Zeta, you know, that is damping ratio. Here damping ratio we have substituted as 0.5, that is for underdamped case zeta is less than 1. Okay, consider for an underdamped system. Zeta is substituted as 0.5 into 64 plus 64 into 64. That is for the equation given in the first time, we have substituted the value of omega n and zeta. Yes, is it clear? Okay, these two we have put it in the percentage. But next, how to simulate? Next 4 lines, what we have specified here is the MATLAB program. Simple programs you have. Okay, so when you have to get the transfer function of a given system, but see, when you are writing theoretically, just you will write C of S by R of S is equal to whatever it may be. But how to simulate in MATLAB? You have to enter the value of numerator and denominator in the form of matrix. Okay, so in the numerator you have 64 into 64, that is nothing but the coefficient of S to the power 0. You have to understand S to the power 0 means 1. So coefficient of that is 64 into 64 we have entered. Next, denominator. So it's a variable, you know that it's a variable. In the denominator you have S square plus 2 zeta into omega n, that is 2 into 0.4 into 64 plus 64 into 64. Okay, so here in the denominator again you have to enter the coefficients in the decreasing power of S. So in the denominator you observe that highest power is 2, that is S square. So corresponding coefficient is 1. So just the coefficient of the S in decreasing power of S you have to enter. So first highest power is S square, corresponding coefficient is 1. Then comma. Next power is actually 2 zeta omega n s. Okay, so s to the power 1. Okay, so corresponding coefficient is 2 into 0.5 into 64, comma, next last term is 64 into 64, that is omega n square into, you have to understand it is into s to the power 0. S to the power 0 means 1. Till the coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0 you have to enter. All the coefficients you have to enter in the decreasing power of s. And this has to be within the square bracket. If you don't give the square bracket, you will get error. Clear? So after you enter the numerator and denominator, that is coefficients of s in the decreasing power of s, next to get the transfer function, we use the command tf in MATLAB. Okay, so this transfer function, whatever you get, that will be stored in a variable, say s by s. You can name any variable name according to your choice. Okay, so here we have given SYS is a variable. A variable always should be a single word. Understand? SY system, that means SYS equal to transfer function of num comma den, whatever you have defined. You can also give n1 d1 as the variable. Okay, whatever you have given the variable, that has to be entered here. Then after this, you will see that if you check in the command window, if you run the program and check in the command window, you will see that in the variable SYS, transfer function will be displayed. So after you obtain the transfer function, next we have to obtain the step response of the transfer function, whatever you have got. Okay, for that we use the command step in MATLAB. Okay. So this is how we will simulate the second order system. Now after this, you have to run the program. See, in your lab manual, all the instructions are given how to run the program. Okay. So always in this program, you have to write or you have to save in the master file. When once you open MATLAB, you will get open and then new file in master file, new M file you have to enter. So these in program we have already entered. Now we'll see how to run this program. Okay. Now you have go to editor, and then run. See here you have the run option, run. So now go to command window. You can check all the results. Okay, so only results you have to check in the command window. Don't write the program in the command window. It has to be in your new master file. After that, you see the diagram. You see you are getting the step response of a second order system. So you got the step response. You have any doubts you have to clarify, you can interact with us. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now after this, once you get this diagram, okay, you have to right click, go to grid, so that grids will appear. Then on the diagram, again you right click, on the diagram you right click. Right click again on the diagram, go to characteristics. See, these are the time domain specifications you will get. That is peak time, rise time, settling time, maximum overshoot. So all these things you have learned in your theory class. What are time domain specifications? That is rise time. What is rise time? That is time taken to reach to 90% of the maximum value. Okay. So then peak time is time taken to reach maximum value. Then also you can get settling time. See all the definitions you have learned in your theory class. So to get these time domain specifications, go to, after you get the diagram, on the diagram right click. So grid, then you click grid, then grid will appear, then characteristics. Once you click characteristics, so whatever the time, the waveform.
Yes, ma'am.
You are seeing the waveform?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
Yes. Now right click characteristics. Then after peak response, you can click on settling time. This is also one time domain specifications. You will get the settling time. Okay. Then you can click on rise time. That is time taken to reach from 10% to 90% of the maximum value. If the damping ratio is less than 1, we will define rise time as the time taken to rise to 10% to 90% of the maximum value. So just after click, just put your cursor on the respective point, the respective value will be displayed. Okay, see this is maximum overshoot, then you have settling time, then final value. So these are all the values we have got using MATLAB, and these values have to be compared with the theoretical value. See, go through your lab manual. See, to find these time domain specifications, also in the, all of you are having the lab manual. See in the lab manual under observation and calculations, it is specified how to calculate this theoretically. So these formulas also have been already derived in the class. Shall I show that also? Yes, in the all of you should have the lab manual. You can check. We will show that also. See here under observation and calculations, you are seeing. Also, you must be observing in your lab manual also. So these time-driven specifications you have to calculate theoretically, and you cross-check with the simulated values. Okay. See, in the after observe these values in the simulation, you have to compare this. See, in the tabular column, it is given theoretical values have been already calculated, and also you have to check and then enter the simulated values. Whatever the values you have observed in MATLAB, you have to enter. You will almost get the same values. Is it clear? Okay. Now we'll move on to the next part. So in first program only, you have so many sub cases. Okay. So that is in 1B, you have to observe the response when there is a change in the addition of poles. When the poles location is changed, how the system behaves, we have to observe the response. In first case, we have observed without any addition of poles. Okay. Now, first case is same. So next, in the next case, when you have added a pole nearer to the origin for the above second order system, the new system transfer function. For example, if you add a pole with respect to the original transfer function, how do you reflect in the transfer function? You have to reflect in the denominator. If you add a pole, you might have understood in the theory, you have learnt the theory part, you have to reflect in the denominator. So that's why with respect to the original transfer function, it was omega n square by s square plus 2 zeta omega n. Yes, see here s is missing, please correct it, plus omega n square, please correct in the lab manual. 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. Now with respect to the original transfer function, if you add a pole here to the origin, we have to reflect the denominator, that is by introducing s plus p. Now let us say we will add a pole at s equal to minus 0.25. See, minus 0.25 means in your s plane. So you are adding a pole at the left of the s plane. So how do you reflect here? It should be s plus 0.25. Okay. Now the MATLAB program for the time response is as below. Okay, so this is everything is given in the lab manual. So as usual, when you are entering in the MATLAB, you have to enter the coefficients in the decreasing power of s. Now in the numerator, you have 64 square, that is the coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0. You have to understand it is the coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0. So whereas in the denominator, now you have s plus 0.25 into s square plus 2 into 0.5 into 64. Yes, please correct it. It is into s is missing. Plus 64 into 64 s to the power 0. So this denominator terms you have to simplify and you have to arrange in the decreasing power of s. Okay. So then you will see that in the denominator you will have s cube plus. So the corresponding coefficient will be 1. That's why in the variable den, so within the square bracket, all the coefficients you have to enter within the square bracket. In between the coefficients you have to put comma. Okay. So 1 is corresponding to the s cube, coefficient corresponding to s cube. Then coefficient corresponding to the s square will be 2 into 0.5 into 64 plus 0.25. This you can simplify and you can enter. Okay. Or directly here we have entered, you can simplify and enter. Better you simplify in the denominator. You arrange in the decreasing power of s. Okay. After this comma, next term will be corresponding to s to the power 1, coefficient corresponding to s to the power 1. After you simplify, you see that it will be 64 into 64 plus 2 into 0.5 into 64 into 0.25. Okay, comma. Last term will be coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0 will be 64 into 64 into 0.25. Like this way also you can enter. Better, it is easy. You simplify. Afterwards, you can enter. Okay. So after this, next you have to get the transfer function. These commands, you know, already you have seen in the earlier case. So to get the transfer function, we use the command tf. So transfer function will be stored in the variable sys. So for that, tf of num comma den, or you can give n1 day1 also as the variable, whatever it may be. Then you have to obtain the step response of the sys, whatever you have defined. Here, once if you put grid here itself in the program, again you need not ask for grid after you get the program. Okay, anyway you can do. Now let us see, we will same thing we have put it in MATLAB. I will show in MATLAB. See here, when you add a pole nearer to the origin, so whatever I have told already, okay, same thing we have put here. Since it is in MATLAB, first 3 line, it is just for your understanding, we have put it in percentage. That will not be executed. That is only the title, that is for your understanding. So whereas where the lines that have not put it in the percentage only will be executed. Okay, now to run the program, go to run, then you see in the command window, you will see the response. You see that this is the response you will obtain when you add a pole near to the origin. You see that here also the system is stable. But let us see what's the effect of this adding a pole on the time domain specification. To obtain the time domain specification, as usual, on the diagram, right click, then characteristics. So whatever you want, peak time, settling time, rise time, steady state error, everything you click, everything will be displayed. Then after that, just go and see the values. And these values have to be compared with the theoretical values. Okay. Hope you are following. Any doubts you have?
Yes, ma'am.
You are following? Any doubts you have? Please
No,
interact
ma'am.
with us. Okay, all of you, only 1 or 2 are responding. All these you have to practice by yourself. You have MATLAB you installed in your system. You can easily practice by yourself. Whatever we are giving the instructions, you go through, and then also you go through the lab manner. You can easily instruct. By the time when you come, all these things should be completed. Okay, so shall we go to the next program? So actually you have so many sub cases. These are all simple programs. Okay, so in the next case, also we will add a pole nearer to the origin. In the earlier case, we had added at s equal to minus 0.25. Now we will add at s equal to minus 0.75, little away from the origin. Clear? This is case 3. In case 2, we had added a pole at s equal to minus 0.25. With respect to the original function, we had added. Now we'll little away from the origin, and let us observe the response. Okay. When you add a pole, as I told, this has to be reflected in the denominator in the transfer function. Okay, s plus p. So now we are adding at s equal to minus 0.75. So you have to introduce in the denominator s plus 0.75. So other terms remain same. Okay. Now the MATLAB program for this time response is as below. See, the same thing is specified in your lab manual also. Okay. So numerator 64 into 64. As I told, you have to write just only the coefficients in the decreasing power of s. Maybe third time I am repeating. Next program we will not repeat because only small changes. Okay. Again in the denominator, now you have highest power. After if you simplify, you will see that highest power will be 3. S cube coefficient will be 1. Then next is square coefficient. You can simplify and substitute. Similarly, after you simplify, the coefficient of s to the power and 1, and till the coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0 you have to enter. Okay, so that means you have to enter 4 coefficients in the denominator. Is it clear? So here directly it is being done, or you can simplify and enter. That is better. You simplify and then enter the coefficient in the decreasing power of s. Is it clear? Okay, then after you enter the values, obtain the transfer function, that is you use the command tf, then step. See here, s must be lowercase letter. Okay, step command is should be lowercase letter. Okay, now let us see in MATLAB. Same program you have put it in MATLAB. Okay, So, okay, now you run this program. The results you have to observe in the command window. Okay, see, you see that you are also observing the lab manual. Okay, same response we are getting. Okay, again, for this system, when you add a pole little away from the origin, we will observe the time domain specification and we have to compare for all the different cases. So again, to get the time domain specifications on the diagram figure, you right click, go to Cat6 and click on all the specifications: time, peak time, rise time, settling time, and steady state error. Okay, you see that again the system is stable because we are adding the poles only on the left top of the spline. You know that when you are adding the poles on the left top of the spline, the system will be stable. Only if it is reflected on the right top of the spline, the system becomes unstable. But only you see that there is a change in the values of these time domain specifications that you have to observe. Okay, so next, case 4. Like this, we'll observe for case 4. So go through your lab manual, case 4. That is, with respect to the earlier function, still we will add a pole little far away from the origin. See, in case 3, it was added at s equal to minus 0.75. Now in case 4, we will add a pole at s equal to minus 1, little away from the origin. So again, the procedure remains same. Only thing is, here we have added pole at little away from the origin. Again, as usual, simplify in the denominator, arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s. Okay, and hope you have these steps you have understood. Then go to MATLAB and we'll run the program. You have any clarification, you have to ask me. You are following? All of you?
Because it is same.
Okay, actually for this case, you can check when you see that again, the system will be stable, and you see that when you add a pole, go on adding a pole a little away from the origin, you see that the system will be stable. Only difference what you have to see that there will be increase in the rise time and settling time. But as the poles are moved away from the origin, you see that the system will be again stable. That's what you have to observe. Now in next case, like still now we have seen how the poles are added. When you add a pole away from the origin, little when you move the poles, how the system is affected. Now we'll add 0 with respect to the original transfer function and we'll see the response. Okay. Now continuation. Evaluation of effect of additional zeros on time response of second order system. In your lab manual, it is continuation. Okay. Now, when you add a 0, how do you reflect in the transfer function? It has to be reflected in the numerator. Whereas when you add a pole, you will reflect in the denominator. Okay. So here again in case 1, it is the original system, what you have studied. Okay, there is no reflection of any poles or zeros. It is the original system, you have to understand. Now case 2 only when 0 is added. So you see that in the, how do you reflect? In the numerator, it has to be s plus z. It will be reflected as s plus z in the numerator. Z means you are adding a 0. Okay. So in the transfer function, you have to reflect in the numerator. So s plus z into omega n square. So other parts remain same. See, in the denominator, nothing, that is with respect to original function, it is same, s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. Now after you substitute the values, so z means z is here at s equal to minus 0.25, we are adding 0. So that's why it is s plus 0.25. Then other values of omega and zeta remain same. Again, now arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s. Now denominator terms will be same, only now numerator will change. Okay, when you rearrange the numerator, what you will get? S into 64 into 64 plus 0.25 into 64 into 64. That means highest power of s in the numerator will be 1. Okay. So the corresponding quotient will be 64 into 64. That's why in numerator, So first coefficient 64 into 64 will be coefficient corresponding to s to the power 1, comma 64 into 64 into 0.25 will be coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0. Always remember, till the coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0, you have to enter. All these values should be within the square bracket. In between the coefficients, comma should be entered. Otherwise, you will get error. So whereas in the denominator, it is same. Okay. So you have simple terms. Highest coefficient is 2. Corresponding highest power is yes. Corresponding coefficient is 1. So respective values you enter. Okay. Then get the transfer function and then observe the step response. Now let us see in MATLAB. Okay, so now we are showing in MATLAB. So you are following? Hope you are following. Any doubts here? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, we are following.
Okay. Now procedure planning, see here, it is very mechanical. You have so many cases. It is very simple. How to run the program now after entering in the MATLAB? Run the program. Go to run. You will get the step response. Step response. See, same response you are getting. Are you following in the lab manual also? Okay. Later you have to practice. So next, to get the time down specifications, on the diagram, right click, characteristics, then go click on all the terms, peak time, rise time, settling time, all will be displayed. Then steady state error. Okay. So just after obtaining the diagram, click there, you will get all the values that will be displayed. Okay. So now you see that again when you add 0, you see that the system is stable because we are adding in the left of the plane. So you are seeing that system is again stable. Now in the next case, like you have seen earlier, when you add a 0 little away from the origin. Now 0 is added near to the origin. The next in further cases, just we will add the zeros little away from the origin. Now next case, we will add a 0 nearer to the origin. See, in the earlier case, we had added at s equal to minus 0.25. Now we are adding at s equal to minus 0.75. You are observing in the numerator again, 0, when you add a 0 means it has to be reflected in the numerator in the transfer function. Okay. So that's why it is s plus z into omega n square by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square equal to s plus 0.75. So little away from the origin with respect to the earlier case. So other steps remain same. Yes. Okay. Now this is what is existing in the lab manual. Same thing we will show now in MATLAB. Okay, so this is the program. When you add a pole at s equal to minus 0.7, sorry, 0 when you add a 0 at s equal to minus 0.7. Now run the program and observe the time domain specifications. See, you go through the lab manual also, you are getting the same response. Is it not? So again, observe the time domain specifications. For in this case also, all the values you observe: peak time, rise time, settling time, steady state error. Okay, all this. Again, you see that system is stable, but there is only change in the values of time domain specifications because the system is stable because you are adding only the zeros in the left of the extent. So system will be always stable. Okay, next case, we will add a zero still away from the origin. Like you have added a pole for 3 different cases. Now we will add a 0 at s equal to minus 1. See, with respect to the earlier case, it was added at s equal to minus 0.75. Now little away from the origin means at s equal to minus 1. When you add, again, what happens? Only calculations will change. Denominator term will be same. Only in the numerator, when you add the 0, you have to reflect. So now it is see that s plus 1 into 64 into 65. 64. So denominator term will be same. So after you simplify, arrange the coefficient in the decreasing power of s. Okay, now let us see in MATLAB. We have to run in MATLAB. We'll go to MATLAB. Okay, this is the program we have entered. Okay, you have to understand percent means that is whatever it is showing in the green color is just a comment. Okay, it's not, will not be executed. Now run the program. Procedure is same, run, then go to figure, you will get the diagram. You see what you get, the same response you will see in the manual also. Okay. See, you see that you again in this case you observe all the time domain specifications. Okay. So you see that again the system is stable. See, finally initially it has oscillation, then it has reached the stability. Okay, so you are observing that when you go on adding zeros on left of side of the plane, you see that the system is not stability is not affected, but only thing there will be change in the time domain specifications. So when you add addition of zeros, will increase the peak value and occurs before system peak occurrence. Okay, that's what you have to observe, and there will be decrease in the rise time and the settling time will increase. Okay, also in the lab manual, you have to see in this table. We will show in the lab manual that has to be verified. See in our lab manual, this table has to be verified. See for all the cases, location of added zeros. First case, simple original function. Next, when you add a zero at s equal to minus 0.25, s equal to minus 0.75, s equal to minus 1. See what all the values you have observed for time domain specifications, you have to enter and you have to compare these values. You see that in all the cases in the last column, you see that system will be stable. Okay, so and also conclusion is specified. You can just go through this. You have any doubts? Shall we go to next program? You have any doubts here till now? Hello? Hello? Shilpa? Shilpa? Others also. You have any doubts here?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Can
No
I
doubt,
go to
ma'am.
the next problem? See, this is a simple, actually it's mechanical, only you have to check for so many cases. Okay, next case, when we have to study the effect of stability when you change the pole location. So that is in your lab manual 1C. Okay, so in case one, again it is whatever it is specified, it is with respect to the original transfer function. Already we have seen this. Now with respect to this, when you add a pole, when you change the pole location, we have to observe the response. Okay, this already you have seen, you need not check once again. This is the original function. Okay, now with respect to this, when you add a single pole at p equal to minus sigma equal to minus 1. Okay, so again the pole means you have to reflect in the denominator. So s plus 1, you have to write it as s plus 1, means you are changing the pole location at s equal to minus sigma equal to minus 1. Okay, so once you get this, how to enter in the MATLAB? You, as usual, you have to arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s. So now in the denominator, there is a change only in the denominator. You simplify and arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s, and the respective coefficients you have to enter. Now observe the system response. Okay, now go to MATLAB. See, same program has been given in the lab manual also. Go to MATLAB, we will see 0 at s equal to minus. Okay, so now run the program and observe the time domain specifications. See, you go through the lab manual also, you are getting the same response. Is it not? So again, observe the time domain specifications. For in this case also, all the values you observe: peak time, rise time, settling time, steady state error. Okay, all this. Again, you see that the system is stable, but there is only change in the values of time domain specifications, because the system is stable because you are adding only the zeros in the left half of the extent. So system will be always stable. Okay, next case, we will add a zero still away from the origin. Like you have added a pole for 3 different cases. Now we will add a 0 at s equal to -1. See, with respect to the earlier case, it was added at s equal to -0.75. Now little away from the origin means at s equal to -1. When you add, again, what happens? Only calculations will change. Denominator term will be same. Only in the numerator, when you add the 0, you have to reflect. So now it is see that s plus 1 into 64 into 65. 64. So denominator term will be same. So after you simplify, arrange the coefficient in the decreasing power of s. Okay, now let us see in MATLAB. We have to run in MATLAB. We'll go to MATLAB. Okay, this is the program we have entered. Okay, you have to understand percent means that is whatever it is showing in the green color is just a comment. Okay, it's not, will not be executed. Now run the program. Procedure is same, run, then go to figure, you will get the diagram. You see what you get, the same response you will see in the manual also. Okay. See, you see that you again in this case you observe all the time domain specifications. Okay. So you see that again the system is stable. See, finally initially it has oscillation, then it has reached the stability. Okay, so you are observing that when you go on adding zeros on left off side of the plane, you see that the system is not stability is not affected, but only thing there will be change in the time domain specifications. So when you add addition of zeros, will increase the peak value and occurs before system peak occurrence. Okay, that's what you have to observe, and there will be decrease in the rise time and the settling time will increase. Okay, also in the lab manual, you have to see in this table. We will show in the lab manual that has to be verified. See, in our lab manual, this table has to be verified. See, for all the cases, location of added zeros. First case, simple original function. Next, when you add a 0 at s equal to -0.25, s equal to -0.75, s equal to -1. See, what all the values you have observed for time domain specifications, you have to enter and you have to compare these values. You see that in all the cases, in the last column, you see that system will be stable. Okay, so and also confusion is specified. You can just go through this. You have any doubts? Shall we go to next program? You have any doubts here till now? Hello? Hello? Shilpa? Shilpa? Others also. You have any doubts here?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No doubt, ma'am.
Next problem. See, this is a simple, actually it's mechanical, only you have to check for so many cases. Okay, next case, when we have to study the effect of stability when you change the pole location. So that is in your lab manual 1C. Okay, so in case one, again it is whatever it is specified, it is with respect to the original transfer function. Already we have seen this. Now with respect to this, when you add a pole, when you change the pole location, we have to observe the response. Okay, this already you have seen, you need not check once again. This is the original function. Okay, now with respect to this, when you add a single pole at p equal to minus sigma equal to -1. Okay, so again the pole means you have to reflect in the denominator. So s plus 1, you have to write it as s plus 1, means you are changing the pole location at s equal to minus sigma equal to -1. Okay, so once you get this, how to enter in the MATLAB, as usual, you have to arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s. So now in the denominator, there is a change only in the denominator. You simplify and arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s, and the respective coefficients you have to enter. Now observe the system response. Okay, now go to MATLAB. See, same program has been given in the lab manual also. Go to MATLAB, we will see the response. Okay. Just 1 second.
Same program. Same program.
Okay, now we'll run the same program. We have displayed the MATLAB. We will run the program. Okay. System is stable. Okay. You see that system is stable. So again, you can observe the time domain specifications in this case also, that you know how to do it now. Okay. Right click, characteristics, then peak time, settling time, rise time, everything you can observe. You see that in the first case, since we are adding a pole, location will be at left of this plane, you see the system is stable. So whereas in the next case, you will see when you add the pole at right of this plane, that is sigma equal to +1, let us observe the response.
What are the changes? Just -1.
Now, when you add a single pole at p equal to sigma equal to +1, means in the denominator it will be s minus 1. Okay, so is it clear? When you change the pole location at p equal to sigma equal to +1, now in the right of this plane, so in the denominator it will be s minus 1. Okay, we are adding, change the pole location at s plus 1, means in the denominator it should be reflected as s minus 1. After that, you simplify and arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s, and the corresponding coefficients have to be entered. Clear? So that's what we have entered here. Now again, you observe the response. Now what you see here, the system is unstable. Very important difference you have to observe. Since the pole location is now at right top of this plane, s equal to p equal to sigma equal to +1. That's why it is on the right of this plane. You see that the system is unstable. It is increasing. Okay, so the response magnitude is increasing. So we have to observe the system is unstable. Okay, now. Okay, like this, similarly, in your lab manual, case 4, case 5, case 6 are given that you can do by yourself. That is when you have a single pole at p is equal to sigma is equal to 0. So in the denominator, it will be just s. Okay, so enter that. You can try this. Okay, because it's mechanical. You have seen till now here we have seen. In the next case, when you add single pole at p equal to sigma equal to 0, that means in the denominator you have to introduce s equal to 0. So okay, again in the denominator there will be only change in the denominator. You arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s, and then you enter the corresponding coefficients and then you have to run. Okay, now you see that again the system will be stable. This part you can do by yourself. Like this, there are so many cases. In next case, case 5, we have repeated pole at sigma equal to 0. Repeated pole. So that this, how do you reflect in the system transfer function? Means again it is in the denominator s square, because you have repeated pole at p equal to sigma equal to 0. So you have 0, 0. Okay, that's why it is s square. So again, only change in the equation. Other steps remain same. You simplify the transfer function, arrange the coefficients in the decreasing power of s, and then you have to enter in the denominator. There is no change in the numerator. Is it clear? So then apply the system transfer function and observe this response. You know how to run. You see that in this case, when you add the pole for repeated location, the system will be unstable. The magnitude is increasing as the time tends to infinity. The magnitude is increasing. That's why we declare the system is unstable. Okay, like this you can try for the remaining cases also. You try still case 6. Okay, 7 and 8 is not required. Till case 6 you can check. You have any doubts still here? So this conclusion you have to observe here. You have any doubts here? Hello?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
This is the first part. Okay. You have so many sub cases, but it is simple. It is just mechanical. Okay. So shall we go to the next program? Next part is effect of loop gain. The last part in first program. Last part, it is very simple. Effect of loop gain of a negative feedback system on stability. The last part of your first program in MATLAB. Okay. So this is the transfer function. It is given g of s equal to 2.5 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. Here the value of gain k is 2.5. Is it not? H of s equal to 1. Then you have the open loop transfer function g of s into h of s equal to 2.5 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. Okay. Now what we do is, for this system you will observe the step response. That is when the value of gain is 2.5. Next case we'll change the value of gain and we'll observe the response. Just for two different values of gain, you have to observe the response. Okay.
Same here.
Okay, here also the procedure for entering the program in MATLAB is same. So in the numerator, you have 2.5, that is the coefficient corresponding to s to the power 0. In the denominator, you see that after you simplify s into s plus 1 into s plus 2, you will see that highest power will be 3, s cube. Then you will have 3s square plus 2s plus 2.5. So corresponding coefficients, the decreasing power of s has to be entered. That is in the variable then within a square bracket. Then you observe the system response. Okay. Now this is actually you are seeing in the lab manual. You can check in the MATLAB. Okay. So this is the last part. Okay. In next case, we'll know. So after you enter the values in the decreasing power of s, then get the system response. You see that again the system is stable with the value of gain k equal to 2.5. So in one more case, let us observe. Okay. So when you change the value of gain, what happens? Now in the next case, we are increasing the value of gain. In the earlier case, it was 2.5. Now you observe g of s equal to 7. That means gain is 7 now. Denominator is same. Original with respect to original transfer function. S into s plus 1 into s plus 2, h of s equal to 1. So open loop transfer function g of s into h of s equal to 7 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. Now you observe that only there is a change in the value of gain. Okay, after this, to get the closed loop transfer function of negative feedback system, what we will do? Gs by 1 plus GSHS. You know that in general it is G of S by 1 plus or minus GS of HS. If the system is having negative feedback loop, it will be in the denominator, it will be 1 plus. Since it is specified as a negative feedback system, so you have to write 1 plus GSHS. So after simplifying, you will get C of S by R of S. See, for the closed loop transfer function, you have to obtain the step response. So you see that C of S by R of S is the closed loop transfer function. That is equal to GS by 1 plus GSHS. After you substitute the values, you will get 7 by S cube plus 3S square plus 2S plus 7. Now the MATLAB program for step response is as below. Okay. So again, you know how to enter this. In the numerator, coefficient corresponding to S to the power 0 is 7. So in the denominator, you have 1, 3, 2, 7. So till the coefficient corresponding to S to the power 0, that is 7, we have entered. And you see that when you observe the response, you see that the system is unstable. That's why we have taken two different cases where you see that in the first case system is stable, whereas in the second case when you increase the value of gain, the system is unstable. You see that the oscillations are increasing. Okay, so this you have to observe. Okay, now finally you have to conclude that there is an effect of loop gain. So when you increase the value of loop gain, the system becomes unstable. Again, we have taken this is for a negative feedback system. Okay, so that's all. This is